Mina say what, Power 99. I am here with a North Philly native, Guordan Banks.
Guordan Banks.
Can I get it right? It's not Jordan. It's Guordan.
It's not Guordan.
It's not Guordan.
Philly, it's not Guordan. Stop calling me Guordan. Stop walking up to me, asking me, are you Guordan? I'm not Guordan. No, I'm joking. It's Guordan Banks.
Guordan Banks.
Yeah, I actually was talking to Patty like a few months ago, and she was like, welcome, Guordan Banks. I'm like, Miss Patty, I
That's
love
not
you.
my name.
That's not my name.
Well, you've arrived.
I have. Thank you for having me. This primetime radio. You know, I'm on Mina Say What right now, so you know I'm feeling myself a little bit. Do that. I feel like when you work hard and you work hard for what and you have a craft, and cool. I believe in saving, investing in real estate, investing into, you know, money market accounts, and, you know, saving your money. Of course, I believe in all of that. But I feel like when you first, you know, get that first, you know, chunk of little money, you should treat yourself for sure.
So you named like a long list of artists that you've worked with. Which one of these have you been in the studio with, and which one was like the most amazing session you've had?
That's a hard question, but it's not a hard question. I would say out of all the people that I've ever worked with, my best studio equipment was probably with Kanye West. Because with Kanye, you just never know who's gonna walk in. You know, it would be like the craziest random person just walk in. Like one day, I was coming because I actually did like 2 weeks with Kanye and John Legend. That's when I was writing with John Legend a lot. And I had walked in the studio, and it was like a room full of people. Spike Lee, Celine Dion. I'm talking about crazy people. I'm so serious. Everybody loves this guy.
Celine Dion?
No, not her. I'm making up stuff.
Oh, you know, she just performed at the Billboard Music Awards. I'm like, why not?
But no, it was
I
still.
saw her in a picture with, who was it?
It was
Designer.
It was people like her that was walking in. Maybe she came in, but it was. I'm talking about Beyonce. Like people just.
You saw Beyonce
coming in and out like it was like.
Was
nothing.
she pregnant yet?
No, this was years ago. It was like he actually did a album in the Mercer. It was a hotel, and so I walk in and it's a full room, and it's a chair that's available. It's a bench, and it's one person sitting here, and the only seat available is right here. And I walk in the room, and I was about to walk out because the person that was sitting on the bench was Jay-Z. He's like, man, sit down. And so I'm walking to the seat like, yo, I'm about to sit next to Jay-Z.
Yo, Jay's mad cool like that.
And so I'm sitting down, and they're writing a song and whatever. He was like, and Kanye like, yo, that's John Legend writer. And Jay-Z like, okay, so if you could write for John Legend, you good enough to write for me.
Right.
So he started giving me the melody, and like we started going back and forth, collaborating. And this is like, I'm 21 years old, you know, just getting into the industry, and I'm like, to have that experience with Kanye, and you know, he was teaching something and telling me something. Like I had ordered a steak, and it was like blood dripping from the steak, and I'm like, yo, I don't like this. He's like, yo, that's how you supposed to eat your steak. If you're gonna eat steak, don't eat it. Don't eat steak if you're not gonna eat it this way. I'm like, how you gonna tell me how to eat my steak? That's how a man's supposed to eat steak. You know what I'm saying? You got a little blood rubbing out. I'm like, what type of time is y'all on? Like, this is crazy.
Like,
but no, it was cool. Just, you know, just to build from him and learn from him, and watch him create, and see so many artists come in and out. Producers, Hit Boy. There was so many producers and writers, and it was Tiana Taylor. We got cool, you know, met her. It was a lot of fun for sure.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I've never been with him creatively, obviously, but that must be like, because he shuts everything down. Like he goes somewhere. Like I think he's in a mountain right now, recording his next album. Like he makes it an event where he like goes somewhere and just shuts down. So
and that's how I like to create. You know, I always talk about like just going somewhere secluded, just far away, where you can just focus on the music. And I think that's the only time you really can really tap into yourself and get the songs that you really need. If you got this person that over here in your left ear and someone in your right ear, it's kind of hard to really focus and really get to the nitty gritty. So
yeah. So I Love You on this Meek Mill 2 Wrong
Towns, and you know, people told us that we couldn't do it, that it wouldn't be possible, but we did it anyway because we didn't conform to what the industry, you know, said we could or couldn't do. And
that's amazing. You got a #1 song.
Yeah, #1.
Your very first #1 song.
My very first #1. My very first single out the gate.
Literally from the bottom.
From the bottom of North Philly.
From North Philly.
Simon Gratz. Give it up. Let me shout out Simon Gratz.
Yeah.
I was Erie Avenue.
There.
Erie Ave.
Okay.
EA all day. You know what I'm saying? Love, like peace,
I know,
joy,
but
happiness.
sometimes you feel, but sometimes
I
you
get
just
it, but
feel it in your soul.
Yeah, I feel it.
You feel it at the bottom of your liver. Like, damn.
No, it's like if somebody like
painful.
Like you the best singer to sing Pain. I'm like, what? Like,
but people gravitate towards that. Why do you think people love Keisha Cole or K. Michelle? Women and men, we like to sit in that pain sometimes, and we gravitate towards the music that Mary J. Blige, a perfect example. Her whole life, her whole catalog.
But now when I get in the studio with Meek, I try to go out my way to not
now
say
you
pain.
try to be happy.
I be trying to there's something happy, like, because I don't want to have people crying and sobbing. I want to really give somebody something, get lit.
Yeah.
Two-step, like a little dance,
right.
Just turn the club up.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't ever want to be put in a box like, I'm saying, I can't get the club busy real quick.
Okay. That's what so you're not trying to cut off your money here, like, no, he's a pain guy.
Exactly.
Just like when like when rappers get put in that box, like, I'm a political commentator, they hate it.
I hate
like
that.
when you talk to Lupe or you talk to some of these other guys that are like, political minded, they're like, we don't like to be labeled, because then people want to put you in that box and they think that's all you can do.
Yeah, no,
So you want to be the pain guy?
No, I'm trying to be in the club,
right.
A little skating rink here and there.
Listen, keep you in mind. It's a little cute, little sexy beat. You can go to the club, slow grind on someone tonight. You
keep saying tonight.
I need to Google the lyrics. Sorry.
Can I?
Listen, you know how we do. We be changing
exactly.
stuff.
Y'all play it 1,000 times and still don't know the lyrics.
My
mom don't even know the lyrics, so you cool. Like, my mom be calling me like, "What's that song again?" Like, Mom, it went #1. It's been playing for years. You still don't know the name of the song,
right?
But that's what parents. You could have 10 Grammys and they'd be like, well, "What you say you do again?" Like,
keep you grounded. Good job. What's to do?
Yeah, but I just want to say this, and if you can keep this insert, because I know you can't keep everything, but it's a lot of things that's going on in this city, and it's a lot of self-hate, and so before we ever really lift the hood up and fix a problem, we have to look in the mirror. We have to begin to love ourselves. And that's why I feel like a lot of the things going on in urban communities and different communities where there's poor people and people that's less fortunate, because people find it hard to identify with themselves. And I wrote a song and I said sometimes you got to make the mirror your best friend. People look for validation in other people, but you really should look in the mirror every day and love yourself, and then you can truly love someone else.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to get too political, but I think it's a systemic problem. That liver again.
And actually, my album, to talk about my debut album, it's titled Unpopular. Yeah, it's titled Unpopular, and what that means is, I truly believe you got to stand in before you stand out. You have to identify with your core values. A lot of people want to be seen, but have never seen themselves. You want people to see you, but you've never really looked deep into yourself. You don't even know who you are or know what you are and what you're called to do. So you stand in first, and then once you stand in, then you can stand out. I'm looking at I just look in the room, and there's things that's in this room. Even this microphone wasn't even thought of 2,000 years ago. We didn't even have microphones probably, but now we're speaking. We got computers that was once unpopular, but someone had an idea that was different, and they kept true to that idea. And so just because you're different, that don't mean that you're supposed to conform. Stay true to being different. Stay true to being yourself. Stay true to being who God called you to be and who God created you to be. And then people will begin to embrace who you are, because people know when people are faking.
Right, especially in Philly.
especially in
Philly is like they sniff you out
right,
here.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Oh, you Joe or whatever.
Joe.
Right.
What type of time is you
right,
on?
You got right. Like you gotta be authentic.
You draw.
Right. Like people, like
you
I'm
out
from
of pocket.
Jersey. Right. I'm from Jersey, but I'm very honest. Y'all really going through the lingo right now? We gonna do this, the Philly dictionary.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey, but I'm very I am very comfortable with who I am and where I am and stuff like that. So people respond to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep talking about social media, and you said something that was really interesting to me. You said, as an artist, you feel like a lot of artists are boxed in and kind of controlled a little bit. As an artist, you should be free to not only express your music, but express yourself. But now what we're starting to see with social media is just a lot of self-destruction, right? You feel a certain way, you're emotional in the moment, you go on social media and pop off. Meek has certainly been a victim to those emotions, I mean, what is the fine line? Because, at the end of the day, you should be able to express yourself and be artistic, but you also have a responsibility because a lot of people follow you, and not you specifically, but artists in general. A lot of people follow you. You're an influence. So you want to be careful about the things that you promote and the things that you say and the way that you react to conflict, right? Because people pick up on that. And people that idolize you might feel like it's okay for you to respond to conflict in the way that you have, even though it may not be right. What is the fine line?
Well, the fine line is that truthfully you can't please everyone. That's the true fine line. And when you wake up in the morning and you realize that all you could do is try your best to be the best for yourself and for your loved ones and for the people who watch you, you can't please everyone. But there is when you have those responsibilities and people watching you, you have to take accountability for those actions. But and with that being said, Mina, I think we take it too serious. We just take, I haven't posted in 3 months on purpose. This is the best I've ever felt in my life.
Really?
Free,
liberating.
I've never been better.
But you're not the person that goes on Twitter and pops off about everything. Like, we have those artists that are very impulsive.
It's deeper than that. It's like, why are we talking about social media? Why is that important? Why is that the catalyst for artists, to really have a voice? Because, James Brown and Marvin Gaye and the Beatles and Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson and those artists, those people, they didn't even have it, and I think them not having it built that suspense, where what is Michael Jackson doing? What is Whitney Houston doing? And you kind of gravitated to that. But now it's like, if you don't show me what you're doing, then you're not popping. If you don't show me that you got cars and you don't got cars, if you don't show me that you live in a nice house, then you don't have a nice house. If you don't show me that you're smiling and faking in selfies, then you're not really happy. But most people that do those things are not truly happy inside. And it's sickening because now the culture of our people feel like that's the only way that they can really truly be seen and be received. And so a lot of people could be going through some deep stuff, but because they got to look a certain way, they can't really let that be known. A lot of people may not have the things that they have, but because they have to look a certain way, they got to rob to look like they have these things. They got to rob people to look like they're popping when they truly not. But if you really humbled yourself and really accepted where you really are in life, and really put the work in, then you could truly have those things that you really want. And once you get the things that you truly want, you truly begin to identify with yourself and love yourself for who you are, you don't care to show people. You don't care for people to see it. You don't care to put it on.
Validation
you don't need
from
validation
anyone.
from all you need validation from is a parking lot,
I thought he was about to be deep, be like, all you need is validation from yourself.
No. You get a validation for parking, not for your life. When you pull up to the hotel, they're gonna validate your ticket.
Right.
People be acting like they vehicles out here. They be looking for validation for themselves, and that's not even necessary.
Listen, in life, you're always gonna have people like that, and it's about just having these kinds of conversations so people could understand how superficial some of the things are.
Yeah, but there, you know what's crazy? There is a lot of people who don't like that type of stuff. That's just really about, you know, being great.
Yeah.
Really about like not into the, you know, the hype. You know, some of the biggest artists don't even have social media or Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's so interesting to watch how different people deal with stuff. You'll have a Kanye who will pop off, which he's gotten better, but he'll pop off on social media. But then you'll have a Jay who won't even say a word and then put it in the music. So it's like people deal with it differently.
I've heard people say if you don't have people are shying, when people shy away from that, like I'm telling you, that's a great way of really breaking, because no one's doing it. And then I've been to many radio stations. They like, yo, it ain't been an artist like you come here and like 5 years.
Shut up.
Really?
So
like,
what do you do that you think is different? It's so, you know, mind blowing.
As far as being an artist, or
yeah,
as an artist, well, I'm a real singer. You know, I'm a real writer and a real singer.
That's why I asked you, because a lot of times I meet singers and I'm like, all right, so sing something for me, and they're like, but and I'm like,
no, I'm a real
right. And
really
like I appreciate that you sang even. You know? I mean, did you just throw a shot right
I
now?
mean, like that's keeping it real. Like come on, we here. We gonna keep it real, or we not. Like,
that's not my fault. I like you.
I like you too. Like, but you know that's what.
Wrongs to make a right.
No. I'm just saying why you meet people and you like sing for me and they like no, because they can't sing, and that's the people that you guys like play. Even people that can't rap, you like rap for me, spit me 16, and they don't rap because you guys play the music. Like I mean, and no shots, because you know I love Pioneer.
Listen, I think with singers it's different, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think if you're going to be a singer, you need to sing. But I think with rapping, it's evolved and it's changing. I'm not saying you don't need to know how to rap, but I'm saying rap has always been a variety of a lot of different things, right? You always had a Milli Vanilli and then you had an NWA. You know, like rap. Some rap is for communicating ideas and mobilizing people and speaking your mind. Some rap is about fun. You know, there's a variety of music, and I feel like as long as we have an equal variety, right? So it's not only the Little Yachty's and all of that, but we also have the Kendricks, and we also have the Cole. As long as there's equality and all that, I think we're good. You know?
Yeah, but I know
there has to be variety.
Like, you know, when you think of Keep You in Mind, it's been licensed for movies, HBO, Insecure.
Get that Issa money.
Yeah. It's had so many great. It's been licensed so many times that my publishing company reached out to me like, you know, we want to meet you to just work on songs for licensing to different, you know, outlets like you know, movies and
that's where the
television.
That's where the money's at.
Exactly, but it's like, yo, to you know, Keep You in Mind was that song that where people like, yo, I want more songs from this guy. You feel me? And that's because what happens is when the people speak, it's nothing you can say and do to stop it. You know, and that's why you gotta stay true to yourself, to your sound, because people are going to stand up, and I do feel like I'm just as talented, if not more talented, than Weeknd and Bruno Mars. Mm-hmm. And I can write all my songs, and I can perform all my songs, and you can cut the auto-tune off, and I can go bar for bar and pound for pound with any writer and any singer. And it's not an ego, it's not a pride thing, it's a real thing.
Confidence.
You know, it's a confidence thing.
You need to have it.
It's a knowing thing.
The survival of the fittest out here.
And they know it too. You feel me? You know, that's why I could put out a song and then Chris Brown would say, you know what, I love this song. Let me remix this song. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, I didn't have to pay him. I didn't have to, that was.
Keep You in Mind.
Yeah, that was
mixed by Chris Breezy.
Chris Breezy. Actually, Bryson Tiller is the one that started that, you know, so that's not me like hitting them up like, can you do this for me? That's people like, yo,
you're dope.
It's dope. Like,
right.
I
like
rock
this.
with this. I like this, you know, and so all I have to do is continue to put out great music, and you know, we're gonna get it popping.
With that being said, Unpopular debut album July the 28th.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who's on this album?
Still, you know what's crazy?
Still working?
No, the album is done.
Okay.
Yeah. The album is done.
I don't know. You might pull a Kanye. You know, yeah, Kanye be switching stuff up last minute.
That's crazy. So that's what he taught me. That's another thing he taught me, because I remember when I was with him, he had printed a certain amount of CDs, and he had stopped it and paid for the CDs, like, to not go out, to put to change the album that was already printed out. So what he said was the album is not done until it's out. And so that's what I go by, especially in today's market where you got the digital, you got iTunes and Spotify, and like you upload your album and in 3 days it's on iTunes and Spotify. And
there's definitely a difference in making art and just creating music. There's definitely a difference, because a lot of the younger guys will put out a mixtape. I was watching Growing Up Hip Hop, and Bow Wow was saying how him and Soulja Boy went in the studio, I think 3 hours, knocked out a project, boom, that's it. You know, it's different if you're just
believe in what Bow. Oh, no, I'm joking.
That's what the man said, right? So there's a difference between that and, you know, just cranking out music, and there's a difference between crafting and art, you know, and that's why we still have like vocals from Biggie and Tupac released albums years after he passed away or went to Cuba or whatever it is that you think happened, you know, because they sat in there and they played with certain things and they tried to create it and then changed it up, or I wrote this, or this came to my mind and I ended up not using it, and now it's stashed somewhere and some producer has it in the back of his, you know, his garage, and he's pulling it out. So I think it's just different modes of creating different things. Yeah. You know?
That's true.
I welcome everyone's differences. You know, I don't like things being so linear.
I noticed that about you.
Right.
Like, soon as, like, our first interaction, you just, you know, you kind of build that rapport with all your people. So
right, I think there's a place for everybody, and I think everyone offers someone different, and I think that everybody can have a fan base based off what they bring to the table, you know.
Yeah, especially with 8 billion people in the world.
Right, and I just think a lot of people are just very like, well, this is how it is, and this is how it's supposed to be, and you can't dress like this, and you can't be this person, and your album, your cover art can't have 2 gay guys kissing because that's not hip hop. And I just feel like that's just so limiting. Like, why would you put people in this box and say you could only do this?
Because that's how the mind is trained.
Right, but as an artist or a musician or as a business person or whatever it is that you're trying to be in this world, you're gonna know that there might be a lot of different ways for people to get to their end goal.
Yeah, but not if the mind is trained that way. You know, like if you know how to tie your shoe because your mind is trained to tie your shoe.
Yeah.
What if we're not supposed to tie our shoes? Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't if our mind wasn't trained to tie our shoes every day.
Bars, you know, I like Meek, I don't like bubblegum music, but then I start feeling bad for the kid because I'm like, yo, this kid is just making music, fun music. You know, he's out here in Target commercials, Sprite commercials. Like, why are y'all so mad at him? Because he's different. Going to your title about being unpopular. Yeah. You know, sometimes people are different and they're not popular and they do things that other people aren't doing. It doesn't mean that they're doing the wrong thing or something bad. They're just different.
Yeah, and like, you know, like I was reading something, or I saw something yesterday, and it was talking about how people judge people and how they try to take the straw out of someone's eyes, and then they have a plink in their own eyes. You got to remove the plink out of your eye first before you can even reach someone else and judge someone else, you know, and take the plink out of someone else's eye. So it's like we all got our own issues and problems.
Right.
We're looking at other artists and other people and other, you know, friends and family, just judging them off of things where we haven't even fixed our own problems. We got issues with ourselves, with our own spirit, man. You know, so it's like I understand it where people are coming from, but then I don't, because it's like, you know, everyone's out here living their own life, you know, and it should be that way. You just be kind, be giving, be loving, be trustworthy, be loyal, and you do the right thing when you have to do the right thing. And if you focus on that, you're gonna find people around you, and you're gonna attract those type of people around you that's gonna give you what you put out into the universe.
Yeah.
And then if you do people wrong and you do people, you know, you're not a stand-up person, and you're not a kind person, and you're not a loving person, you're going to attract the opposite of those things.
Right. Damn, that's what Guordan. I'm saying it like French. Like I'm trying to add it on to you.
Yeah,
like,
but you know what?
Like, you know how Beyonce got the
I'll
little thing
that.
at the end of the E?
I'll take Guordan. People call me Guordan. I don't really trip off that too hard. But not Guordan. I don't like that.
Okay, Guordan. I got it.
It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed this interview.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you too.
We can build and continue to talk. Whenever I'm in Philadelphia, we can link up. It don't even have to be in here.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Yeah, hit me. I love music. I like being in the creative space.
Yeah, that'll be lit. You
come
by the studio.
I feel like I have a real connection to Two Wrongs because I hit Meek's manager and I'm like, yo, I need Push and Meek on a track together. And I actually wore my little play clothes today. This is Pusha T's clothing line.
I know.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is why, because I'm like, ooh, this guy, you were like the gel between the hardcore that I loved. So again, I like salt. I like salt and, and sugar. I like sour and spice. I'm that girl. I like French fries and ice cream.
That was definitely a record for sure.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. Mina, say what? Power 99. You know what it is.